Because if your answer is no, then I got news for you. That's why you're not happy. It ain't the other person. It's you. It's you. Take that home and chew on it. I hope it perches somewhere where you're like, that ain't right, that ain't fair. You don't know the idiot that I'm married to. You don't know how she is. It ain't got nothing to do with her, and it ain't got nothing to do with him. It's got everything to do with you. It's all about you and your relationship to God. As much as I like to blame Adrian for everything I can, and she knows I've tried at times, I stopped trying to do that. I told y'all she out-taught me. For in this manner, in former times, the holy women who trusted in God also adorned themselves, being submissive to their own husbands. As Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord. Now, women read this, and I think they get mad at Sarah. Let's talk about Sarah for just a second. Just a second. Sarah, when she was being submissive to Abraham, I want you to look at what happened. When they went down to Egypt, Abraham looked over at Sarah and said, these men here are going to kill me. The Egyptians are going to kill me because you're so pretty. But let's not tell them that you're my wife, even though you are. Let's tell them that you're my sister. She just happened to be his half-sister. And he said, let's tell them that. Guess what Sarah did? She submitted and said, okay. So what ended up happening? Pharaoh got to looking at Sarah, just like Abraham thought he would. But then when Pharaoh found out that Sarah was actually his wife and not his sister, and that God was now doing something to Pharaoh, Pharaoh told Abraham, get out of here. Take your wife and, oh, by the way, here, take your stuff with you. He paid him to leave. Now, the way that some women are, they ran up in there and just told Pharaoh the back, that's my husband. And Abraham probably would have been killed. But by submitting to Abraham, everything worked out in the end. Now, let's look at Sarah when she didn't submit. God told Abraham, you're going to have a kid. You're going to have one. You're going to have a whole posterity come after you. Nation. The promise will be that your nation will bless all other nations. Sarah said, I'm too old. I'm not submitting to that. I've got an Egyptian handmaid that's nice, young, and fertile. Abraham, go sleep with her. Abraham then allowed the roles to be reversed. Instead of him standing up and being the warrior man that he should have been, he should have said, no, we're going to do what God said. No. He said, okay, you're in charge. I'll take this pretty young thing and I'll go make a baby. And look what came of that. All you got to do is look at the Middle East. The whole problem in the Middle East was because Sarah would not submit to Abraham. There are consequences, ladies, when you don't submit. You have no idea how you are influencing things in the future. An unsubmissive wife is teaching her children something. You are setting them up for failure. You're setting your daughters up to go into a marriage and not submit either. You're setting your sons up to think that the kind of woman they're supposed to have is one who doesn't submit. And in that case, then you turn your son around and you tell him, don't you be the head of your family. And what you're helping to create is dysfunctionality that will be replicated over the generations. At some point in time, it's got to stop. At some point in time, some real Christian women have to stand up and say, I'm going to do it God's way. Even if I don't fully understand it, if God says it, it has to be so. Even if it goes against everything Mama taught me, I need to do it God's way. Even if it goes against everything I read in Essence magazine, I gotta do it God's way. Because why? I'm rejecting the philosophy of the world, and I'm going to stand up for what is morally right and do it God's way. God bless you.